All right. Let's see. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Friday, because there is no regular Fridays anymore. Everything is absolutely crazy. And David, are you here?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Thanks for coming in.
All right. All right.
Hey, before we start, real quick, are you planning on are you going to keep this open for like the open and show kind of some of your trades, or are you what are
Yeah,
you?
for this morning, once we finish the briefing, I'll probably leave it open for about an hour or so because
Okay.
I'm looking to head out earlier today, and hopefully, the market gives us some early opportunities. But yeah, for part of the morning session, I guess we'll
Okay.
leave it
Great.
running. Yeah, sure, why
I
not?
mean, no better way to show people what you're doing than doing it live.
Oh, exactly, exactly. Win, lose, or draw. And I'll work on explaining some of the items that we look for as the morning unfolds. It's
Okay.
always tough. It's always tough to talk and trade at the same time, but
Yeah.
uh, we do our best. We do
All
our
right.
best.
All right. So
So what?
Marlon, why don't you take me off camera and I'll turn off my mic and then you're taking over, David.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
All right.
All right, everybody. I am back with. So I'm broadcasting right now in two rooms. Actually, I'm broadcasting in our PTG room, uh, our community, and again as well over there on the Mr. Top Step stream. So what I was saying, again, I did not have my mic on the other stream, but we're good now. We'll get everything squared away nice and smoothly. But anyways, for everybody that was up last night, again, everybody knows about the Israel strike. So what I went to is I went to the monthly charts because I had gotten some queries last night about where potentially some response could come in, and I had to go all the way to the monthly chart because the intraday charts didn't provide enough data. But looking back at the monthlies now, again on the left hand side here, here's our monthlies, right? And again, what I like to look for is where there's overlapping confluence areas. So as you can see here, this particular high on this month, and you can see in this zone here the value area low for that particular month. I think that was April. Looks like it's no, is that April? Well, oh no, 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 I'm sorry, that's January. We're talking months. So that was January. So in any event, looking back at some of these levels, again, we saw a high area of volume activity here. So question was at the time as the market was going down last night, as you can again, this is the 60-minute bars over on the right hand side here. With where potentially could market find a responsive bid. Okay, and again, it was a reactive move clearly, right? So the expectation was at some point we would get some sort of a kind of a reversal signal, but where, right, is always going to be the question. So in any event, um, we found price found support here. Okay, cool. All right, and what we got up here as the market reversed, price got back above the uh, the overnight VWAP, right, full session VWAP, right. So that kind of put the kibosh on the downside, put our low pivot in, and then as you can see, as the remainder of the evening unfolded here to where we are now, the market has rallied back. All right. So I also get a question. So just kind of just looking at the backdrop of everything. Um, there again, this is kind of an atypical briefing simply because of the geopolitical event overnight, so we typically don't head into the monthlies here. Over here on the left hand side, again, this is just a drill down view of the daily overnight, right, full session, just to show you the magnitude of the reaction. All right. So again, not going to go into much detail there, but what we do, I'll just move the chart over, all right, into our typical briefing each morning. So I also get the question last night, when we get these geopolitical big events and it dislocates the market as it has last night, you know, I write the daily trade strategy briefing each evening by 9 o'clock. So the daily trade strategy was already written for today before any of this happened. So, the question was, do you make any adjustments to the daily trade strategy? And the answer for me is no, because our daily trade strategy, when I write that for the next day, is based upon what we do on a daily basis, the levels that we look for, the structures, etc. And geopolitical events, don't factor in to the levels and what we're looking for in terms of our strategies. Now they factor in one area in terms of always being aware of what's happening, worldwide, and to manage risk and the such. But for the most part, it doesn't factor into levels and so forth. So when the levels here, as they have gotten exceeded. Okay, coming in today, it's like, okay, so how do we read this now? So all these, you can see these levels down below, possible low, et cetera, et cetera. Um, well, they've all been exceeded, haven't they? So are they valid still? Yes, they're valid still, right? And they're valid still because the market has now recovered. So when we start entering into the regular trading hour session, right, at 9:30, um, you keep one thing in mind: the big institutional accounts, right, primarily are trading the RTH session, right? So their activity, their responses, their actions, everything is really where it's most important. At least as far as I'm concerned, that's where it's most important. So the levels that we have in our tactical strategy during the session is primarily during the RTA. So what happens overnight can be relevant, certainly, but it doesn't factor in. And so the way I like to look at it is, yes, we had an event. Yes, there was a reaction. Yes, we got a buy response back. Now, where is price currently as we enter the period of our RTH? So that's what I'm looking for. So when you come in the morning here, if you didn't do anything overnight or start to take a look at the charts, well, not a whole lot really ultimately has changed from our viewpoint at the end of the day, yesterday and coming into today. Obviously, we can't plan on, adjusting levels and so forth just because there's a overnight, reactive event. All right. So again, the idea is, as they say, cooler heads prevail. And the way, again, we've gone through over the years many geopolitical events and breaks and so forth in the market. Bottom line is, I kind of like what I said last evening to everybody in the other room was, let the dust settle. Okay, see what happens in the morning, and then we'll take it from there. So here we are. So today is a cycle day 3. Okay, so this is where we would typically begin our briefing, and we're right there pretty much at the 9:15 mark. We wanted to start just a few minutes early. So here we are. So now cycle day 3. Okay, so we know it's been a fairly weak cycle, all right, past few days, and now with the price pretty much right at the cycle day 1 low. So this is what I posted last evening prior to all the events that unfolded. Right, was we're leading into cycle day 3. Price closed, again, this was yesterday's closed near the 5047, right? The buy day low or cycle day 1 low. And that's where we currently, that's where price is currently. So what I wrote last evening, again, will be valid as we enter today. So the primary goal for the cycle bulls is to trade above this level during RTH. So during RTH, this red line here, the bulls need to, keep a bid above that level during the RTH session, not during Globex, but during the RTH session. Should that occur, there's a 90% historical tracking record, and that's what's referred to as a positive 3-day cycle. Okay, so there's a 90% chance, actually it's a 90.87 or something, whatever, clearly almost 91, that on cycle day 3, which is today, price trades above the cycle day 1 low. If it's below at some point, okay, which it has been here in the overnight. So today, at some point, we have better than a 90% chance that the market trades above that during RTH. Okay. Now, if the market, again, I continued on writing in our daily trade strategy last evening that if should there be continued strength or continued rally higher, then there is some upside potential levels that we want to mark off. Okay. And again, on our charts here and in our daily trade strategy, it marks somewhere in the neighborhood of about the 5088 area. Okay. So that would be kind of an initial target zone up here. Again, we're talking ES over here on the left-hand side. That's the NQ. You do the exact same analysis right now. As you can see on the NQ, price is below the cycle day 1 low. So, price needs to get back above that level to fulfill that 3-day cycle statistic that I just cited. Right. And of course, it's all about the RTH session, not the overnight. So that still has a little bit of work to do. But again, we have a long day. Of course, today's options expiration, right? So there's a lot going on with option X. I don't factor in necessarily options X in my daily analysis, right, in the daily briefing. Because if we follow the price action anyways, which we do, the OpEx stuff kind of blends into that area. Now, we do reference during the day put walls, call walls, some key, options, gamma guys or spot gamma guys levels. So we do, monitor those throughout the day, but it's not part of my direct daily trade strategy briefing. All right. So that's what we're looking for today. Obviously, the market, Mr. Market has control of everything in terms of what it's going to do. It's our job to be able to read what is unfolding, identify key areas from which potentially to take trades from. Okay, again, I don't think it's anything different than most anybody out there is doing. It's just our particular spin on it. The 3-day cycle is a big portion of what we do, in terms of tracking how the market's unfolding on a day-to-day basis. And again, it's been a pretty strong part of our methodology for many years now. All right. Not as many people out there are familiar with the Taylor 3-day cycle, but hopefully we'll get more people interested in viewing how from that particular lens. All right. So what's the goal here now? So our line in the sand. So the next stage, what we do is in our daily trade strategy briefing on our website, again, which is published each evening for the next day, we have a line in the sand, right? So today, the line in the sand, LIS, right, is basically 50-50. So, bullish above, right, bearish below type of action. And what I always, when we talk about a line in the sand, we're always talking about a zone around a particular line. So in this case, it's usually plus or minus 5, right? So we have to have some reference point to start with today, right? So right now it's pretty much right at that, these low areas of that cycle day 1 low vicinity. So within the context of that. So in terms of bullish, bearish kind of leans, right? What would we need to see? So let's just talk about the bearish one for the moment, right? Price broke overnight, of course, and we got a rally back. So the question then becomes, again, is there going to be a rejection back down, right? During again, as the day begins to unfold, or does the market come back up, get back above that level, and then find acceptance, right? So everybody knows the concept about acceptance, right, versus rejection. So we do the same thing. Again, obviously that's a volume profile terminology, but we still use the same, we also use the term CNC, which means clear and convert. Essentially, you're saying the same thing, different word, different phrase, right? CNC, clear and convert. So if the market can clear and convert the 50/50s, right, get above it, stay above it, sustain a bid. Well, that's acceptance. If it can't, right, if it cannot, then that's rejection. All right. So we're saying the same thing, right? It's just whatever term you choose on how you want to interpret it. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking for today. Again, all things, being unchanged, that is, right? But we know that isn't. There was some activity there last night, but again, the big institutions are the ones that are going to drive the action for us today. Our job is to identify what the directional lean is every day, and then work to get and stay in alignment. That's our core method. And again, in terms of how we do that and so forth, okay, what other tools that we use? What we'll do here this morning is, at least for a short period, maybe an hour or so, we'll leave the current stream uh, over at the Mr. Top Step stream running. Okay, so everybody can kind of see. And then what I'll do is I'll interject some audio during that period as well. All right. Anybody have any questions? And again, what we'll try to do as well, and I'll coordinate this with Danny, is I do a briefing every morning. Whether we stream it every single morning or we come up with some schedule, because Danny has some other presenters that may want to do early morning briefings as well. All right. So we may like what we're doing right now on the daily trade strategy, or excuse me, the Mr. Top Steps opening print, is I contribute to that. So my daily trade strategy is published on the Mr. Top Steps opening print on Wednesdays. Uh, the opening print also has other presenters, so Danny is going to be working with them. So we'll probably have some sort of kind of weekly schedule. Maybe a certain day of the week will be my slot to get onto the Vista Top Step, channel here, and along with our, morning briefing as well. So we'll figure something out. This is all kind of work in progress here, and hopefully it goes, smoothly for everyone. All right. So if you want to, for those out there on the stream, you can always reach me at david@polaristradinggroup.com for any questions or interest in any of the stuff that we do. All right. We are not a hard sell whatsoever. We're not looking to sell in that capacity. We're looking to expand what we do here, to a broader community. And if there's any interest in what we do and how we do things, and it can help you in some way become more consistent, and of course profitable, then we're excited about that. But again, always input is welcome. We're always trying to improve what we're trying to present to everybody, and that's it. So what I'll do is, we got about another 10 minutes or so before the market opens. I'm going to set my screens up, and then I'll come back on the mic shortly. But we'll leave the stream running, and then as the opening begins, I'll kind of walk everybody through. Hopefully, we'll get some trades on with some decent action. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes. I'm going to get another cup of coffee, and I'll be back in just a few. Danny may want to come on and say some, words and so forth. But in the meantime, yeah, if anybody has any questions, again, feel free to post in the stream. All right, I'll be happy to field any questions, as they come along. and I'll be back in about 10.
How does that work? Oh, you got to turn your camera on.
Yeah, there we go. I'm live, right? All right. Well, anyways, hey, good morning, everybody. Listen, I'm just going to jump in real quick. Look, I got to say, I don't think we've had markets like this since since COVID and the 2007 credit crisis. I also think that this isn't going to be something that's just going to go away right away. No matter what happens, there's just too many things going on right now, geopolitically, economically. Um, it's in fact, I don't think there's ever been a time in my life that I have ever seen more negatives. And the one thing, like I talked to the Pitbull last night, um, he he said that he thinks one day we'll walk in and we'll just be like, whoa, like what happened? And he also said a couple times last week that we're on borrowed time. Now, I will say one thing about this. I've been here before. We many of us have been here before. But for a lot of you younger traders out there that are, trying to figure out how to trade and what's going on in the markets, what I'll tell you is that the best way to learn is from other traders. And a guy like David, he's solid. He's not out he's not out there to screw people. He's got a proven background. He's got proven trading systems, and all around a really cool guy. So again, Mr. Top Step brings people to the forefront, and David is one of those guys. And we're going to continue to do this. Next week, we're just going to do something that probably very few companies do, but we're going to bring in a couple of guys. One is Trevor, and then the other is I gotta talk to him. He's in our room. His name's Jim Mayo. And what we're going to do is we're going to both give them an opportunity to get on and just show some simple trade setups or simple chart setups. I know it sounds crazy. Trevor tends to be a little bit more, a little bit less on the indicator side, where Jim is loaded up with indicators. So what you'll do is you'll get to look at the way two different guys set up their charts. So anyways, I'm going to jump off here. I hope you guys have a great Friday. Last night, I actually almost bought the lows of this. I made 32 points or 33 points. I never thought it was going to rally 90 points. But now I'm short from 48 right now. And, I think it's just going to be the same thing. It's a big dead cat bounce and we should go down, but it is options Friday. So you have a good trading day. David, it's yours.
All right. Good morning again, everyone. All right. Good morning, everyone, again. All right. So we'll heading into here the opening. We'll see how Mr. Market offers us opportunities. So again, looking for potentially any dips back down right now. Again, the market's going to be pretty interesting this morning to begin. See how the RTH group responds to all this activity from overnight. All right. But again, we'll wait to see if there's some sort of directional lean that unfolds, but expect some whippiness perhaps here on the RTH opening sequence for now. So we'll be patient once we get a directional kind of feel for the opening guys, and then we'll kind of start digging in. All right, so again, the goal is to stay above or get above the 47s or so for RTH, and that will satisfy the cycle statistic. And then if the market can hold a bit above, 50-50, our line in the sand, and then, actually right now 50-50 plus 5, so 50-55s. And again, that's pretty much the overnight high right now. So if bulls can sustain that, then there's an opportunity to expand it. For now, again, I think we're going to flip-flop here, at least early on, until we get some firmer footing. So we'll just be patient for that to unfold. And for those of you that play the open range, okay, we play an open range every morning in an automated fashion. All right, so there's our automated opening. And again, crude oil did get stopped out this morning early. Yesterday was a winner. Today that got stopped out. So we'll see what the opening 5-minute range gives us for trade opportunity. Okay, so that's where we stand. Again, we'll look to be patient. And again, let Mr. Market tell us what it wants to do. For those of the new watching, again, we're not necessarily scalpers. We're not looking to bob and weave every single movement in the market. We're trying to get established on a more directional potential. Although I do say that probing, if you want to refer to that as scalping, that's fine. I refer to it as probing. Probing is authorized all the time, depending upon your particular trade plan. We, on the other hand, are looking for a more structural and then directional moves, all right, activity. But if you're a Super Mario scalper type, again, we don't, knock yourself out when it comes to that. All different styles. We're just more structural and directional. Yes. Bet you that changes things. Yeah. Right. All right, so the first thing that we try to do after a little bit of data comes in is to frame it out in what we refer to as a sandbox, right? Our little playground zone. All right, so right now we're looking at around 35s, 55s as an initial sandbox. All right, so price did trade, by the way, above, all right, cycle day one low on cycle day three. So in ES anyways, the cycle statistic is fulfilled, not yet so on the NQ. So that is, that's fulfilled. All right, so our line in the sand is early resistance. Or rejection. All right, early resistance or rejection. And that's why we call it a line in the sand. So again, as you can see, everything that would have happened overnight, we're not really paying attention to. I mean, in the back of our minds, we are, but nothing changes as we begin the next day, right? Of course, unless the market was still way down at its lows there from overnight, then things would change. But we're back up to, essentially in the same zones that we ended the day yesterday. So nothing really changes for us. All right. Again, the options expiration is really, gonna be the main driver here, at least I think initially. So we shall see. And again, for the new folks that are watching, again, you can see these particular zones that we have in the middle charts. All right, these are our ATR zones, and these areas denote potential trade zones for us. Right, when they arrive, when prices reach those particular zones, you can see in the top one, right there, right on the opening, there was a long that triggered. Right, and again, we're all transparent in terms of the trades that we show, unlike virtually a lot of other educators out there, but we've always been transparent. It's how we roll. Win, lose, or draw. Got on big TV, need my trading monitor screens this big. Actually, this particular monitor is only, I think it's 32. Danny just got one. He got like this monster Samsung, right? This monster Samsung that it's curved. Um, I forget, it's like 64 inches or something or whatever. It could be bigger than that. It's just on his desk. It's just a wide. I should get one of those. Now we're talking screens, right? The one he has. One out of 2,412 trade rooms. Are they trade rooms or chat rooms, Dr. Dean? Right? More likely chat rooms. Chatty Addies. Sitting pivot style. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I've got to protect. Yeah, they're sales rooms. The thing about it is what we do here is I don't really sell anything. I mean, I have stuff for sale naturally, and it's really what we do. I'm not here trying to sell you. I'm not here to try to sell anybody anything. Just showing what we're doing, and hopefully, you become a better at what you do as a trader, and hopefully the tools that we have can help. But I'm not. You never hear me push anything. You know. right. Bada bum bum bum. All right, real exciting. Again, two-way traffic here, back to line in the sand. Again, buyer stepped in about 40, so we can adjust our sandbox slightly, but we'll leave it at 35.55. I think there's still enough rotational action here. So again, if you're planning on leaning to the long side, okay, if you're planning on leaning to the long side, what you'd want to see here is you'd want to see price get above those 50-55s, right? Shift the dynamic, sustain a bid, right, and then look to enter on some sort of a pullback tip if it presents itself, and then looking for potentially, higher levels from there. So the market, given everything that happened overnight, market's going to need to absorb, this stuff. But really, it's not about, whether they think it's bullish or bearish or not. It's just bottom line is whatever the order flow dynamics, closing positions, options expiration, all that becomes really the driver, not somebody's opinion out there. It's really, the dynamics of their positioning. So and that's why we follow price rather some pundits jibber jab. All right, so again, get a clear convert here, 50-50s. All right. And see if we can sustain. All right, sustain a bid. So working on clearing 50-50s. Okay, so for the guys on the MTS stream, I post to our trading room, our internal community. So I'm gonna try to do a copy and paste best I can on some of the stuff that we're posting. So you'll see what we do in terms of communicating internally. All right, so again, outside the line in the sand, above it. So that's one of the scenarios. So now we're looking for market to hold on any pullback. So we're leaning to the long side. Okey-doke. And of course, as always, be sure to trade with stops in place. Right? Again, anything can happen. Go out there, and the market just collapses with all this stuff that's going on. You just got to be careful. Always wear protection. Always wear protection. Giddy up, giddy up. All right, so back down to line in the sand zone again, plus or minus 5, right? So we get up to the 55s, back down to the 50s. All right, so 45s to the downside. So we're basically within our line in the sand zone. And again, it's not enough just to pop above it. Again, for the bulls, sustaining a bid above it is important. That's what we always look for. All right. Yeah, it's a little choppy, but again, that's kind of should be expecting that given the situation. The situation, right? Given the situation. All right, so back to again the lower part of the line in the sand, 45s. All right, right back down to kind of the point of control here, 45s. So which way do they want to go? They want to drill it or not? So We're gonna have a lot of snappiness. Let's see. We're currently flat, Mark. So the bullish case, right? Again, price needs to, sustain a bid. greater than 50-55s now, let's call it. All right. In the bearish case, price less than 50-45. Oh, what did I just do? Ah, crap. Didn't want to do that. All right, guys. So the core sandbox here still remains 35.55, which we posted earlier. Again, it seems it's just its options expiration influenced, early activity. All right. So until they can break the stalemate here early on, we're still actually price is still within the opening range sequence as well. So just choppy, not a lot to do here today. Unlike other mornings where we have a lot more opportunities, but right now it's Friday with an FRY, like Danny always says. Friday for sure. Friday OPEX. All right, so we're gonna shut the stream down here at 10:30, and again we'll be back on a more regular schedule into next week. This was just kind of our inaugural getting things online, and things should get smoother. Wasn't too bad today, but things will get smoother as we get used to a more consistent schedule. So again, hopefully this has been a tough day to start everything because with everything that happened overnight, but we go with the flow. All right, trying to push down through these 35s. Again, this is our edge. There's a put wall here as well from so this bulls have to respond, but right now the deltas are leaning negative clearly. But again, OPEX influence, so I don't have much to add, and I don't like to be jibber jabbering too much, except for when we have opportunities. Stay focused.